1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right, we are now officially going live. Welcome, one and all, to a Sunday night session, which means this is another episode of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jody.
And Tim.
I'm Nikki. Woo! Holding them up.
Which is ironic because usually it's everyone else holding you up, Nikki. But
Bitch, let's start early.
Anyway, all pleasantries aside, it's lovely to have everyone here. Hopefully you're all having a good weekend. Oh, it's now the end of the weekend, I guess, most of us, but hopefully everyone's had a good weekend. And we are tonight going to sit down and have a gig guide in a second, which we've been joined by our lovely ladies for that part of the show. We'll have our hot topic, which is all to do with our personal favorite live shows that have been recorded. And we'll have some reviews on the latest from Nick Oliveri, Dream Troll, and The Ugly Kings. The Ugly Kings being a live album that was released earlier this year. Fucking hell. I'm tongue-tied and twisted all over the joint tonight. This is going well. No, I can't get tongue-tied out. This is going really well for me tonight. I'm usually the well-spoken one, and I can't get a fucking word out. Anyway, Nudes has jumped in to say hi, guys. So good to see you here. Thanks for jumping on Facebook there, Nudes. Good to have the regulars here with us. Hopefully we'll get some more regulars and some newies tonight. We'll see what happens. But if you're watching this, give it a share. Spread the love around a bit. A big thank you to our fantastic sponsors in Squiddy Screen Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Please find them, give them a follow. The details are in the description or the post of this, whether you're watching live now or later on or catching up on audio. And our details, as well as those, are there too. So please follow us, like, subscribe, all the usual shit that everyone gets you to do. And hopefully... I don't know, it's funny now because we don't have TV to fight for. It's all good for the next 3 years. So it's sort of like, okay, well, that stress is gone. So it's now just, okay, follow us online and keep watching us on TV for another 3 years. That's a whole lot of fun. Another regular, Dean, has jumped in on Facebook. Hey, guys, hope you guys all had a great rocking weekend. We were talking about that just before, and we've had a pretty good weekend so far, but I guess we'll actually go off on that. So we'll start with you, babe. How was your weekend been? I know, but the world doesn't.
Yeah, no, a bit of upsy-downsy because I originally had flights to go up to Queensland to visit my sister. Today would have been not today. Yesterday would have been my father's birthday. So we thought, nice to hang out with each other. But yeah, obviously flights had to be changed, and yeah, so we'll see. But on a positive note, my friend Bert that had the aneurysm a few weeks ago, he's kicking goals, and they actually shipped him back to the Albury Hospital today. So fucking yay.
He's doing really well.
He is doing well. So yeah, so weekend of upsy downsies, but hey, I'm with you.
That's a positive. In some regards. Not all positive, I'm sure, but I'll do my best. How about you, Tim? How's your weekend going? You were there on Thursday as well? So,
pretty good actually.
Yeah.
So just played a whole lot of love on Friday. And apart from that, just keeping warm.
Yeah.
Which is one of those a good way to spend the weekend for me.
How was the gig? Was it a sellout like you thought?
It was a COVID sellout, but it's still a sellout. Yeah. So managed to catch up with some friends there as well, so which is a good thing. And it was a good night. So Chevaliers and Vendetta have new music out. So if anyone's keen, check them out.
Cool. I'll have to add them to the Hot Rockin' playlist. We've got I'll track those down and add them to our little playlist we've got going there. Cool. How about you, Nikki? You've had a busy weekend, haven't you?
I've had a very busy weekend, but it's been a wonderful weekend, getting lots of stuff done, seeing family and all the good stuff. And my Swannies won by 92 points today. I didn't watch a single kick, but I heard the result on the way home. So go Swans. Actually, we did a time capsule because we're plastering up the wall in the kitchen. And it's like, what can we write? Let's write some shit on the wall under the plaster so that someone finds it in 3021. And my sister is a rabid Geelong supporter. So she's like, that's for premiers. And she wrote, Swans not for premiers. No. Not cool. That's it. That's all for me.
Okay. Rightio. Well, yeah, I haven't had much to worry about this weekend. I've been just editing away and releasing stuff online and doing the usual things, keeping warm inside and doing chilling at home. Watched the Collingwood Football Club get smashed for most of the game today, which was, it is what it is at this stage. So it's like, yep, that'll do. And that's, really about it. But it's just been a regular cruisy weekend. Did some reviews and that sort of stuff. And good to go for another show. So
typical winter weekend. It's just too cold to want to venture out and do shit.
Yep. I think we're going to wait until summer rolls around to do anything much apart from you going up to Queensland. I think that'll be the soonest we start doing anything much at all out there, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, everything's good. Ultimately, pretty good. Can't complain at all. So footy is footy, but that's not really the real world. So who gives a fuck anyway? All right. Let's move on to the gig guide now. If you are wanting to follow along with this, again, in the post or the description of this, wherever you're tuning into this, there are all the links to all these gigs. So please, if any of this gets your attention, please do check them out there for more info. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over.
All right, that's us, Nikki.
Andrew pretty much introed it for us. So, Jones, I'm just going to throw straight to you, you bloody legend. Let's do this.
I'm like, hang on.
You got to go up.
I thought I was, and then I shut it all down. Dumbass. All right, kicking it off. Friday, July the 9th, at Max Watts, King Parrot are playing to celebrate 10 years as a band, and they're supported by Nicolas Cage Fighter, Womb to a Tomb, Hidden Intent, and Choof. Less than 100 tickets remaining, so get you on it now.
Yep. If you want to be there, get it.
What a cracker. Saturday, 10th of July at Cherry Bar, amongst others, you get to see the man in the top right of our screen, I believe. I better check that. Yeah, I'm right. I'm good. Woo! Could have been awkward. Those beautiful boys from the Warbirds are launching their new single, Take My Hand. So go check that out with support from some Traitors and eat the damn orange.
Damn. And now this is a gig clash. Coming up. Sorry, gig clash on Friday, July the 16th at Stay Gold. Orpheus Omega are touring for their 10th anniversary, bleeding the way with special guests Triple Kill, In Malice's Wake, and Carpheus. There is a new EP, Career Suicide, for sale at the event as well. Also,
that's a cracker. And Tim, thanks for sharing in the lounge the Orpheus Omega cover of All the Small Things. We need to get on that. And Triple Kill have released their cover of Stacey's Mum. So check that out before the gig. Also on that night, it's Dangerous Curves. They're launching their album. We talked to the boys last week. It was fucking awesome. Summertime High is coming out at the Bendigo Hotel with a Blaze and Shotgun Mistress. Boom, boom, boom. That's a winner of a gig. Get to that one as well. And also, if you can't go to Orpheus that night, you can see him in Geelong like I will be.
Yep.
Awesome. Nice extra plug there. On Sunday, July the 18th, at Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, Dirty Rats, Rautism, and Leaky Cats rock your Sunday.
There we go.
Dirty Rats and Leaky Cats. I'm never going to get sick of that. Never. Just too good. Yep. All right. Friday, July 23rd at Cherry Bar. Fucking Cherry Bar's on fire lately. Riff Raiders. Woo, yeah. With the Vendettas, they're here. Kick Winter's ass, and that is a gig not to be missed. So get there. Get some.
On Saturday, July the 24th at Sound System Studios Bar, Snakebite Whiskey back in Melbourne playing with Shotgun Mistress, Riot after midnight.
That's going to be a good one. Another sweaty gig. Good for winter.
It's a sweaty gig.
Special mention to the Riot after midnight, guys. We love you. Didn't mean to not mention you last week. That was my bad. Oh, gee. Let's have another gig clash, shall we? Because there's not too much clash in the world. Saturday, September 4th, Hell on the Bay. 8! This heavy metal. Oh, my God. It had an exclamation point. I felt like I should really emphasize 8. Heavy Metal Party Cruise will feature. You ready for this? Strap yourselves in, my hearties. Desecrator, Ugly Things, Hybrid Nightmares, and Soul Dust on a boat. It's going to be wicked. I'm on a boat.
Unbooked. Also, the same night, Screaming Jets are playing at Young Services Club in South Morang as part of their All for One 30th anniversary tour. Holy shitballs.
I think we might be at that one. Let's see how we go.
Woohoo! Saturday, September 18th at the good old Bendigo Hotel. Stalker, all the way from New Zealand, are here on their Black Magic Terror Australian tour. So go see our Kiwi brothers and sisters and people and just do it. Fucking yeah. Get there.
Definitely.
If you like your metal, that's one for you, that one.
And as always, lineups and events are subject to change, so keep up to date with those that interest you via Facebook or following us on whatever platform that you're watching us on.
Yep.
And, yeah, that's it for the gig guide this week. Ta-da! So professional.
Rock up with your frock on, man.
Oh, we haven't said
You
that
haven't said that for ages.
Rock up with your frock on.
Yeah, there we go. Keith from Rautism, I'm assuming on YouTube, has jumped in to say, man, this cold weekend sucks. Well, yeah,
Big
but that's why
balls.
we have indoors weather. That's what we're all a bit sort of chilled, so to speak, today. All right.
Would you ever appreciate the sunshine?
Oh, there we go. Nikki's getting deep on us on a Sunday. When Nikki's not drinking, she's getting philosophical. It's rather interesting.
It's one word for it.
What were you saying, Tim?
So I actually love cold weekends.
Did you say you love cold weekends?
Yeah,
Why?
because I can stay in bed and not feel guilty.
Yeah, that works for me, mate. I'm with you on that one. That's not a bad feeling at all. All right. Before we let the lovely ladies get away from us today, we are going to move into the hot topic, and we'll get their input on this one very, very shortly. Tim, you and I started this conversation on the Thursday stream. We were talking about the Motorhead live album, No Sleep Punishment, and we wanted to get people involved in it, so we figured we'd actually convert it into a conversational point tonight, and that is just our personal favourite top 5 shows that have been recorded, a DVD, CD, whatever else. Just as long as it was documented, it's eligible, and that's our favourite one. So before the lovely girls get away from us, we just wanted to get their input just for one from them. So we're going to put you on the spot?
Yeah, throw me in the deep end.
All right.
And when you asked me about live recording, and it's like, Christ, I don't know. And then I'm like, the one that I've listened to like 100,000 times over the course of my life, and it was Midnight Oil on Goat Island
Wow,
in 1985, Triple J.
Nice.
That was my childhood, my youth, my adulthood, I still listen to it. It's just,
Cool.
Yeah, oil's on the water.
There you go. Nice choice. All right. Nikki, over to you.
A couple spring to mind. Clearly, I'm going to say any of the Kiss Alive albums because I'm a Kiss nerd, clearly. One that pulled me from my childhood was a double album by the Angels called Live Line. Had my absolute favourite version of Fashion and Fame. That live version was sensational.
That wasn't
Sorry?
That was an awesome album. Is an awesome album. We were only listening to it recently.
Oh, it's so good. And a DVD that I go to a bit, this may or may not shock a few people, but I don't really care, is Pink and her Australian Funhouse tour, where she covers a Led Zeppelin song, she covers a Queen song. That chick actually can rock. She does obviously her own hits from the Funhouse album. I really like that show. I watch it from time to time. Probably not one you'd expect, but there it is.
I'd watched that as well a long time ago, but yeah, I actually was impressed with it too.
You were watching that Pink thing on YouTube the other day.
Yeah, no, not YouTube.
Was it Amazon or something?
Amazon, one of those.
One of the streaming services.
Amazon, Disney, Netflix. She's done this whole thing. And I watched it.
For the metalheads amongst us, it's similar to a year and a half in the life of. It's a similar process to that, but it's with Pink instead of Metallica. So take your pick on that one. But it was interesting what I saw of it, little bits and pieces here and there. So yeah, it was nice to see behind the scenes of it. So yeah, is that all for you two?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do know that the ladies want to bolt. Do you want to hang around for Tim and I to rattle through ours?
You can rattle. and I'm going to take these dogs back inside. There's a standoff over the cushion covers.
Yeah, I know. The chew toys are getting.
I'll run and I'll go
pistols
watch you as a viewer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fine then.
Thank
All right,
you for
cool.
having me. Looking forward to hearing yours, you guys.
No worries. Thank you to both of you for jumping in.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you all
See
again
you
very
next
soon.
week.
Yes. But for now, Tim and I will continue on with the show. So before Tim and I get stuck into it, let's go to some comments because we've got some coming in already. So keep them coming, people, while we're going through this one tonight. Whether you're watching live now or whatever, keep them coming. So Rautism, Keith jumped in to say that Midnight Oil concert is so iconic, which is very true. It is. Dave Clement, our good friend on Twitter. Hope you had a good show today over on your radio over there. Iron Maiden, Live After Death, the ultimate live album video. Yes, that is very much up there. And Nudes jumped in to say, Tribute by Ozzy is another great live CD. As for DVDs, Van Halen, Live Without a Net, or any Alice Cooper or Rob Zombie gig. Yeah, there's some good choices in there as well. But Tim, you had a little bit of time to prepare for this one. So what have you got for us?
It's impossible to cut them down.
Yeah, it is.
I love live DVDs. They're one of my favorite releases of music. And
yep.
So it's impossible to cut them down. So I've got honorable mentions. I've got tons of them.
Yep.
And first of all is actually surprisingly the Off the Map DVD from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And the reason why I put that in is because it's a very raw concert.
Oh, wow.
It's not dubbed at all. And when I was in high school, a friend of mine who was a guitar player, we were both learning to play music, learned pretty much that whole concert note for note, including all the little improvs and improv guitar solos and drum solos and all that stuff. So that was a fun one for us. Cannibal Corpse, Live Cannibalism DVD, back with Jack Owens is in the band, and I love that DVD. Used to download it on Pirate Bay, used to watch it nonstop on my old computer. Dissection, Live at Stockholm, same deal.
Yep.
All the Mayhem live albums, because all the because they're all bootlegs, and I love bootleg live albums, and like Live at Leipzig, Captor S, European Legion show in Marseille, and I like, because I'm a nerd. And I've played it all, and I've played in tons of bands. I love listening to all the different tours and hearing them play, how the set list progresses, how the lineup change affects the band sound, and all that stuff. I love all that stuff. Alice in Chains Unplugged is also a fucking great performance.
That is brilliant. Yeah,
I think it's the best acoustic one out there. Sorry, Nirvana, but the Alice in Chains one too. But anyway,
no, I agree, mate.
I'll pick 5. These are the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Obviously, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Listening back to No Sleep Till Hammersmith is fucking incredible. That one. As you mentioned before, Live After Death. But I used to call Bruce the air raid siren, and it's amazing how incredible his voice is on that. It's one of the best vocal performances you'll ever hear.
Yep.
The Live Shit Binge and Purge DVD from Metallica.
Yeah.
Again, that was just me geeking out over Lars, and people make fun of him, but that's what we did when we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah. The 9 Inch Nails DVD and All That Could Have Been. Again, I loved how much of a theater it was. Loved how much of a show it was. I loved, again, a band on point, the peak of their career, being massively over the top. Of course, now we just find out they were all messed up on drugs at that point. But at the time, it was a really intense performance, so you can feel the energy coming off the screen. And the other one is actually my absolute favorite, right? As Jimi Hendrix at Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. There are tons of Jimi Hendrix concerts out there, right? And obviously the most famous one is Woodstock, right? The absolute best one is at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. Now, you've all seen images of this one, because this is where he burns his guitar at the end of the show after Wild Thing.
Yep.
But for as iconic as it is, if you actually sit down and watch this, I think this is the best performance ever captured on TV, on tape. It's a relatively short set, only 30, 35 minutes or so, but this is the Jimi Hendrix Experience, just absolutely slaying everybody. Letting everybody know that they were the best rock and roll band to have ever existed, arguably. So that's my favorite.
Nice. Very cool. Got some cool comments coming in. I'll get to those in a second. I'll quickly rattle off my list on this one. Make sure you do please get involved in the comments. This is very, very cool. When I clip this one individually, it'd be good to see the comments on this one too. But anything from the Alice in Chains Unplugged one, which you mentioned, is fantastic. Anything from AC/DC or Iron Maiden is pretty much going to be a winner as well, as far as I'm concerned. I do want to give, like you mentioned, Live Should Binge and Purge, but it's a bit of a different one. But the Metallica Year and a Half, that double video process, because it's not so much. I like the studio stuff because I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff, but the just the stuff they did in the live shows, like anything at the Moscow stuff, like Pantera did the same thing. You know, all that Moscow show in general is fucking brilliant. All the bands there went off. But yeah, just I wanted to give it a little bit of a nod to that one. It's a bit different to the category, but it's one of those ones that always tell me. But for my actual top 5, it might be a bit different to what people expect, but we'll see what happens. Motorhead, No Sleep to Hammersmith, that's just fucking brilliant. We listened to it last week. We talked about it on Thursday. So, yeah, that just always gets a nod when you talk about this sort of stuff. Also, Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. I think that just captured the band perfectly. Going back to my older, in this context, but going back to the ones that I really sort of spent more time on as a kid listening to, Queen, the Wembley Live Aid show, that is just a phenomenal piece of performance and how it was captured and all sorts of stuff. Basically, Queen Live is fantastic, but that show was just impeccable. If you want to go to that road as well, actually, it's not much of a hard rock thing, but In Excess at Wembley was a fucking banger of a show as well, for that matter. But also, Pink Floyd Pulse. That's one for me that I have gone to time and time again over the years, and I've never gotten tired of it at all. And it's got just, I don't know, I love that show. The graphics of it, but just listening to it as an album is just fucking phenomenal. It's just, I've never gotten tired of it in years and years and years. But then finally, a more recent one that's a band that I really, really love, but they put on killer visuals in the live show, and this time around they went with it a bit differently, where they mixed footage they took at the 2 shows they did, but then also mixed in footage of rehearsals and that for the show as well. So it gave them time to edit and put effects on stuff. So it's a much more cinematic live show. And this is Rammstein Paris. And that is, if you've never seen that one and you want to watch a live show that's just a bit more theatrical, so to speak, or a bit more, I don't know, the way they cut it together with little visual effects, but it really did come together so well. And the crowd were eating it all up. So that's one of my standouts. I watched that one and just was hooked from start to finish. I love the band, but that visual captured them so bloody well. So that's my list there of what is really most important to me, the ones that I'll go back to all the time. In the comments, we've got Tim T1000, Tim Caddison. Thanks to you for doing Dream Troll tonight too, by the way. So cheers for the heads up on that one. But 2 of his are Priest live from the Fuel for Life tour in '87 and Thin Lizzy 78 at the Sydney Opera House. Yes, some very cool ones there as well. David Fowler on Facebook, good to see you again. Iron Maiden Live After Death is a classic. Yes, that's always going to get a run. Rautism, my pick is AC/DC Live in Donington. It started everything for me. That's a good bloody choice if you're going to get on that road. That's very, very cool. Helen DiMartino, good to see you again on Facebook. Thanks for jumping in. Iconic. Are You Experienced as their first album? So there you go. That's referring back to Tim's Hendrix choice there. Dave Fowler has also jumped in with Violence. Blood and Dirt is another favourite. That's another good one. There's some cool killer ones here. Nikki, as being a spectator, has jumped in to say, random one, I played my John Farnham Full House cassette to death. The live version of Playing to Win is amazing. Now, you can love or hate John Farnham, but fuck, he is a killer live performer. Also, if we're going to go down that sort of path, the Billy Joel River of Dreams live show, that's a pretty fucking good one as well if you go down that era of things there. Ben Jars, good to see you on Facebook with a long comment here. UFOs, Strangers in the Night, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Jethro Tull bursting out, Frank Zappa at the Roxy and elsewhere, Gentle Giant playing the Fool, Genesis Seconds Out, Grand Funk Railroad Live, Pat Travers, Go For What You Know, Fucking hell, it goes on and on. I'm not going to read all that. But yeah, there's a lot there. Check out the comments for that one. And Helen also jumped in with Bowie, a reality tour. So that's Bowie was also another one that was really good on this sort of stuff too. So yeah, keep it all coming. And I'm looking forward to seeing more comments on that one, either now or when we clip this one and release a standalone video. But that's a good one. I'm glad we got to cover that off, and hopefully we'll get a lot more input as this one gets a bit, as the video itself matures. Let's put it that way in terms of social media content. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Tim?
No, I'm pretty good with that.
You're pretty good with that? We're getting a good list going. We're getting a really good list going. What we should do is maybe do a special next year on audience choice live albums. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be to that.
Different as a little side note there. But anyway, we'll see how we go with that. We've got this year mapped out, so we won't be able to do it this year, but maybe next year. We'll see how we go. Anyway, let's get on to the reviews for tonight. And we're going to start with the Kings, which are a Melbourne band. Toast. I'm not sure what this is. Can someone help me get on in Australia? Well, we're here. I'm not sure, but okay. Give us some more info there.
If you're after, like getting on with us, just shoot us an email.
All our details are there. Shoot us an email. It might take a bit of time to get back to you, but I will get back there eventually. Helen's also jumped in live albums, Pleasure and Pain, and well, that's a different concept in itself. Yep. All right. First link for the night is going to be coming from the Ugly Kings. Now, we're going to be reviewing a live album, but this one is sort of the title track for it, which is Killing Time. Nikki's gone in and say G3 live in Denver. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool too. Actually, there's a lot of good ones out there. But keep them coming while we move on. The Ugly Kings. If you've seen this band live, you'll know what you're in for here, because we're going to talk about they signed to Napalm Records, so we're going to cover that one when it comes out later this year. I think August. I think it's August this year. But they did drop this one early this year, so we're going to talk about it now. This is the Ugly Kings, Killing Time at Cherry Bar. This is 10 tracks, 43 minutes. The first ever live album from the Melbourne band, released April 2021 independently. Produced by the band, recorded by Ryan Scoble, mixed and mastered by Julian Schweitzer. This was recorded live at Cherry Bar to celebrate the reopening of the venue after their move in 2019. This digital-only release comes before the band signed to Napalm Records, and as they've got a new studio coming soon, I figured it was high time we actually got around to listening to this one. I've been aware of it for a little bit, but figured let's give this one a go. Tim, how did this one tickle your fancy?
I was very interested to listen to this because I've always wanted to do a live album. But I wasn't sure how it would come across for a non-massive band.
Mm-hmm.
So I was interested to see how this one turned out. And I think, look, there's a lot to learn from it, but overall it's pretty good. If you're an Ugly Kings fan, you should definitely check it out. You'll get a lot out of it. It is a very honest representation of what the band sounds like live, which is a good thing because they're a very good band.
Mm-hmm.
These songs are fantastic. It looks great. Flows very nicely. Guitars sound fantastic. Everything's spot on.
Christos has a great tone.
Oh yeah, and look, this is the new Cherries, the old Pony Bar upstairs. That room is great. So there's never really any doubt with this one. If I had to criticize it though, I would say I would have. They should probably have mic'd up the crowd.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Because for me, like, there's points where you can hear them go for audience interaction, and it just does not come across on the tape at all.
Yeah.
So which is kind of, which is cool when you're there, but when you're listening to it back on a live album, it would have been nice to have that control just to bump up because everything's pointed at your amps. All the microphones pointed at the amps. But just to give yourself that option of turning up the crowd when you need to, because at points it just sounds like a dead room, which I'm sure it wasn't. That's exactly, and you the last thing you don't want that to come across on a live DVD. You want it to feel like a party.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I thought it was a very good release. I put Raging Bull as my highlight just because I think it's a really cracking song. And yeah, 8 out of 10.
Cool. I do sort of get the criticism put there, but at the same time, I thought that the moment on Promised Land, for example, was good enough. I suppose I was also taking it from, it was a little Melbourne band doing it independently. So, yeah, in an ideal world, you could get a bit more crowd noise, but I think that moment in Promised Land did show you the room was far from dead and gave you what you wanted in that regard. Just, could have been good to get a bit more of that, but also at the same time, the band sort of kept rolling from song to song, which is what they do live anyway. So, what it is in that regard. Look, for me, this is a cool live album that captures this band perfectly. If you've seen them at all, which some of you have out there watching us now, you'll know what I'm talking about. They are a ripping band live. Every time I've seen them play, they fucking smoked it. And if you haven't seen them live, this is a good album to check out to give you a taste what you're in for, but also do so while you can, because I think this band are going to move on to big things very, very soon. The mix itself of the band is fucking phenomenal. Everything is crystal clear. For a live show in a little Melbourne bar, I thought this sounds fantastic. The vocals are clear, the guitar tone is great, the bass, the drums, it all comes through. Nothing is muddied, nothing is drowned out. It is so well balanced for a live album in a little Melbourne bar. It's just phenomenal. It sounds world class in terms of production for the band. And that, complementing that are the performances for this one. If you like this band, they don't put in not a dud note, not anything. I thought they smoked it performance-wise on this one. Just in case you're not familiar with the Ugly Kings, they're a more brooding kind of intense rock, loads of space with heaps of feel and soul to go with it. The term power blues is one that's been applied to them over the years, and that sums them up pretty nicely. Lots of emotion and that intensity is what gives them their kick more so than, balls out riffs. But that said, there's some pretty cool riffs and some very nice guitar work and just generally very, very good rhythm and flow and feel go into their music as well, along with some great melodies and really smoky vocals, which is fantastic. I think that the live setting suits them well as a band because that's that little bit of a jam element comes into them a bit and they get to play with that space a bit. Not a lot of chat, really, but there's enough that, it's funny because you referenced, you like bands sort of slap you over the head constantly in our last talk about the Motorhead one. These guys do the same thing, different tempo, but they just keep going, rolling through. Not a lot of chit-chat there, but I thought the song choices are great. This thing flows brilliantly as a set. You'd be riveted watching this one live. If you were in the room, let us know. But yeah, you'd be just locked on. You wouldn't be looking anywhere else for this one. And they'd move the gears at the right times to make this one just fly by. This just shows how good they are. And I don't know. For me, I'm not sure I've heard a better produced local band live album. A lot of bands have tried it, and these guys do a lot independently, or they have up until now. So I don't think I've heard a local Melbourne band do a better live album than this in terms of production. So interesting. Let me know out there if you disagree with that, but it's up there for me. I really did enjoy this one. It's so easy to repeat spin. I'm looking forward to the new album. I've had a lot of love for these guys for a long time now. Had them on the show a couple of times, but I'm keen to see what they do next. This one for me is an easy win for the year, so check it out. 9.5 from me. I fucking loved it. 9.5 out of 10. Promised Land, I loved the interaction of the crowd in that moment there. Of Sins and Little Birdie Told Me were my standouts in that. With these sorts of albums, it's going to be predetermined by what songs you think are the best ones in general, but for that one, yeah, that really did capture my attention. I loved it. So check that out. We've got some comments coming through. All right, cool. Let me go back through to them before we duck off onto the next one. What have we got here? So, Toast on YouTube, best live album is Sorcerer by Gabor Szabo. I haven't checked that one out personally, so I'll have to go and look at that. You know that one, Tim?
No.
All right, cool.
My history teacher in high school was called Szabo.
Cool. There you go.
Too, actually. So
there you go.
He reckons eventually there's a story there. He reckons his claim to fame was he once told John Farnham that he would never have a career in music. And then 30 years later, John Farnham is John Farnham and Szabo is a history teacher.
There you go. Go on the early crow. How many? It's funny because we mentioned that last Thursday too about the how many people were canning Motorhead at the beginning, and then they went on to rule the world. So many ways. So, how many people called Kiss the worst band of all time, and look at what they accomplished? Well, go early with the hot takes. I guess that's been a thing for as long as journalism has been a thing. But very funny. Good segue there. Never had it. We would never have got that story without that comment. So thank you, Toast, for bringing that to our attention. That's beautiful. Helen jumped in to say, have seen and know the other Kings well, and truly hardworking fellas, good live inclusivity. Yes, they are fantastic, and they're lovely people to boot as well. And we have had someone here, Kirby O'Rourke, was saying, I was in the room and never missed the ugly. So awesome. Let us know, if you're still here, Kirby, on YouTube, let us know what that was like. I would love to hear from people because it felt like it was just locked in on the band, and I would love to know if that was just in the room at the time. But I think it's a cracker. Check out the album. Check out the clip put in the comments. The video we put in there was Killing Time, so go and check it out as well. Anything else you wanted to add before we move on to the next one, Tim, or are you good?
No, let's move on.
Let's move on. All right, cool. Next up in the comments or in the description, as always, here is the next one. We're going to choose a little clip for you from a band called Dream Troll. So Tim Caterson, T1000, if you are still here, this is because of you, my friend. So thank you for pointing this out to us. The band is Dream Troll. The song is Winner Takes Nothing. That's their latest video they dropped about 4 weeks ago as we do this one now. This is from a little album they released this week. So here we go. This is Dream Troll, Realm of the Tormentor, 6 tracks, 34 minutes, the 5th release overall from the English band, released July 2021 independently. Written and produced by Matt Baldwinson, who I believe is also the bassist in the band. At least 2 promo tracks have been released in the Tormentor and Winner Takes Nothing. Beyond that, it's a little bit hard to dig up all the information. And like I said, special shout out to T1000, Tim Caterson, for pointing out that this was being released, because I would never have known about that if it wasn't for that, because they're a little independent band with like 1,500 listeners a month or something on Spotify. So here we go. How'd you go with it, Tim?
This is a very sneaky good record.
It is, isn't it?
It is. It's a little bit quirky. They've tried some shit, and it worked.
Beautiful.
First of all, I mean, I've never heard anything that quite sounds like this. You can call it a hard rock. Like, I mean, there are some, classic hard rock and heavy metal tones in there, but apart from that, nothing quite sounds like this. Yeah. But what I love about it is how well thought out the songwriting is. Every note is spectacularly tried and tested to make sure it's the right thing. The musicianship is on point. Great playing all around. Particularly the guitars are pretty stunning. It's hard to describe how good this is without actually. You've got to listen to it. Basically, you've got to listen to it because it's hard to describe, because there's absolutely nothing to compare it to, and that is in the best way possible. So, just kind of proggy, but not proggy hard rock. Very modern. Actually, you know what I would compare it to? Nuclear Power Trio with vocals.
Okay, because I actually put down.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of on the top of my head.
That's a good one, but also if you like anything from Ghost through to Night Flight Orchestra, if you're anywhere in that wheelhouse, but Nuclear Power Trio that too. That's a good wheelhouse.
But is it? Again, we've never found this record without it, but it's a really sneaky good listen, and it does stick with you as well. So everyone should check this out. Is even if you get nothing out of it, there's always a chance that you will, because again, it's so out there. But check out The Devil Inside as my highlight. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Nice. We've got some comments coming through. I'll get to them after I've done my bit here, just to keep the continuity going. Their entire slogan is making the old new, or sound new again, and they've more than lived up to that with this record here. Heaps of melody, heaps of space in this too. This leaps out at you from the start. You put this on, it just jumps out. It gets your attention straight away. I love the rumble in the bass. There's a comment about that in the comments, but the rumble in the bass is fantastic. Lead guitar and the synth on this one trade off nicely. It's all really incredibly well balanced in the writing, the performance. I you said how every note has a purpose on this one. That's true. That's a bit of a progressive element to this one. Nothing's over the top. Nothing's overstated. Nothing's too flashy, although there is plenty of flash in it. And it all just really is balanced out, and that's complemented by beautiful production. Some great hooks in this. Like, you got some great gang vocals over the hooks too. It's got a. I know it's not. This might you'll put this on and you'll hear the 80s straight away. But you give this one a couple of spins, you're like, shit, okay, this is really good. There is a bit of aggression that catches it by surprise. It plays off against the melody really nicely in this one. The mix, I'm going to go back to it. I fucking loved the mix on this. It's got great space, great polish, but the grit hasn't been sacrificed. There's enough crunch in the guitar and the bass. The drums have a nice bit of snap and sizzle. The clarity in this really highlights the vocals and the lyrics, and the storytelling is important in that context. And you can't understate the earworm factor of what's gone into it. And the production side of it has really helped that along, because those hooks just get stuck in your fucking head.
It is so well thought out.
Yeah, every detail.
Like some of those runs are just like just classic earworm.
Definitely. There's a nice vocal and synth combination in the chorus to Winner Takes Nothing, which is the clip of referenced here. That just sticks in your head for me. That was one of the ones like, okay, cool. Like I was saying, this is straight out of the 80s in a lot of respects, but it's also really contemporary, straight out of today as well. They've got something modern and fresh with some old roots in it. They've just taken that goal I put at the top of my review, and that's it's rock. There's a bit of pop sensibility about it. There's that progressive element to this as well. And fuck, every element gets the time to shine on this one. None of it, like you hear guitar, synth, vocal, bass, drums. Everyone gets their moment to shine. And there's some serious use of feel and soul in this. It's fun and uplifting, but there's like a lot of soul in this too. Great riffs, great solos. Fuck, I like how they build tension in these songs too. They really know how to build up to the moments to give you the payoff there as well. Great push and pull across the board. And the closing track, how they added a bit of darkness to that one in particular was really cool for mine, especially like the final act of it all. It's a nice epic piece that builds nicely, and I love the delayed final hit, that little riff, that one-off riff at the very end of the album where they just spaced that, went bang. I fucking chuckled at that. I thought it was really well done. It was like that final little, here you go, just one more for you. It was so just executed brilliantly. If you like anything from the 80s through to today, check this one out. Like I said, Ghost, Night Flight Orchestra, but what you said about Nuclear Power Trio with vocals would fit this one as well. This is worth spinning. Even if it's not your bag immediately, this is going to get your attention and stay with you a lot more than you think. Check it out. So, Tim C., thank you for sending this in to us. I'll get to the comments in a second, but for me, 9 out of 10, fucking loved it. As Death Rains from the Sky and Winner Takes Nothing, my absolute standouts on this, but there is fucking not a dud moment. And for a little half-hour listen, this is one that is definitely worth your time. So please do check it out. All right, so we've got some comments here to go back through. Where are we at here? So Kirby O'Rourke jumped in before with the Ugly King stuff. All their gigs are awesome. It was an amazing weekend at Cherry Press Club the night before too. Okay, cool, awesome. Glad you had some fun out there as well. And Helen also said, I too have not missed a gig. Was in the room, packed, sweaty, and brimming with adulation. Awesome. Good to hear. Glad to hear that the show was as good as it sounds on record too. Tim has jumped in saying, thanks for checking it out. The last album is excellent as well. Well, thank you for letting us know about it. He said, and I do remember this, that Jimmy did review the last album, but I did give it like a spin or two and then had to move on because that was when Jimmy was doing his own solo reviews at that point in time. So that was cool. News jumped in saying he listened to it today, loves the punchy bass on it, which is nice. And Adrian Narain, who we reviewed not too long ago, he's jumped in on Facebook to say, hey, guys, good to see you here. Thanks for jumping in. Your little EP is fantastic, so please do make sure you check out the Narain EP. Here we go. Helen's jumped in saying, thoughtfully arranged with a twist of fuck, my words are all fucked up tonight. Modernity. Fuck me dead. The one who's, credited as being a nice speaker I just can't do shit today on Sunday night. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm fucking up everywhere. And Adrian's jumped in to say, love Ghost, Night Flight, so we'll check that for sure. Yeah, mate, judging on your music, this will be right up your alley. I reckon you will really get a kick out of this one. All right. One more to go. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the main event?
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's see how this one goes. If we're going to go 3 for 3 in good releases, or if we're going to have Up and Down Night. This is Nick Oliveri. There's a series of albums coming out. We'll get to the latest one in a second, but the clip we've chosen is, it's not a clip, it's just literally the audio on YouTube there for you. But Nick Oliveri, Up and Down Under is the one we've chosen for you as a reference track for this one. So please go and check it out now or at your leisure, whatever you want to do. It's in the comments and it's in the description as well for those that are tuning in later on. But anyway, this is Nick Oliveri, No Hits at All, volume number 7. 10 tracks, 35 minutes. This is the 7th volume in a series of releases that are taken from the archives of the man most known for his work in Caius and Queens of the Stone Age. Released July 2021 via Heavy Psych Sounds, these songs are works from his 25-year-plus career that he's recorded vocals on as either a member of the band or as a guest. That is the whole premise of this entire series. So here we go. I'm not too sure of more actual specific details on this one, but there's a lot of covers in this one too. So that seems to be a trend that goes in there as well. But Tim, how did you go?
Now, Caius, one of those bands that you either love it or hate it, depends on whether or not what your opinion of stoner rock is.
Yep.
And I really like Caius, and I think they're a very talented band. They produced two of the great songwriters, in John Garcia and Josh Homme. I don't think Nick Oliveri gets. I don't think Nick Oliveri has their talent though.
No, I'm going to agree with you on that.
And I think this album is I listened to it a couple of times, and the more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it, the more I got it. That doesn't mean it wasn't a mess though.
A bit disjointed.
It is a little bit of a mess, and his vocal style as a fun backing vocal for the odd Queens of the Stone Age song or the odd lead for a Queens of the Stone Age song is fine. Singing by himself, I just find it rather annoying.
Yep.
Yeah. He's when I was listening to it today, I was thinking he's like the Ringo of Caius, but it's a bit of an insult to Ringo, to be perfectly honest.
Cool.
But, hey, look, post Beatles, Ringo had some good albums. And this one,
song.
And that's not to say there's nothing to like about this. The tones are fantastic. His bass tone is phenomenal. Which again, if you listen to Caius or Queen, that's not a surprise. There are some good riffs all over this, but again, the whole thing just feels the composition just feels slapped together and poorly thought out, and I didn't really enjoy it, to be perfectly honest.
Okay,
yeah. I'll give it a 3 because that's pretty much what I'll put on good bass tone and nice riffs here and there. If I had to pick a highlight, I'd say Me 262. But apart from that, and this is from a guy who enjoys the style and enjoys both of his other bands.
I'm actually really glad it's you doing this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was not a fan at all. I think Nick's better off being the Billy Brownless of a band rather than the Gary Ablett.
Actually, in terms of
well, I think Andrew is just frozen slightly.
A lot of sense that you would put it that way because I've got. Yep. Sorry. Am I back again?
Yeah, you go.
Yep. Cool. Cool. A bit of a lag, and it's usually the case with Australian internet, so my apologies to all out there watching tonight. But the things you were saying there struck a chord with my review because I've got basically my footnote on this whole thing is that he's better off when he's working with other people. The songs I enjoyed the most on this were the collaboration songs, not ones that were from his archives. So the ones that he collaborated on and the ones that were the covers were the ones I enjoyed more, and the ones that were pure originals didn't really grab me. And it's like I said, I'm glad that you did the review on this one with me because I'm not the biggest. I really got into Mastodon for the first time this year. I know it's not the same thing, but you're the one that knows this genre, this world much more than I do. And to hear you say what you've said about it makes me feel less bad, if that makes sense, because it's really going to come down to taste. Look, if you like your stoner, that kind of rock, Queens of Stone Age, Caius, all sorts of stuff, you're going to get some of that here. like, I don't know, it's a bit more punk than doom, so to speak, in a lot of respects. Like, I'm Your Son is definitely a lot more bitey and less sort of sludgy stoner kind of rock kind of thing. As a listen, it's got some different tones across it, some good gear change, all that sort of stuff. But it does also throw into, when you've got some really warm stuff and some really harsh stuff, it does make the whole thing feel disjointed, unbalanced, and it doesn't flow quite right. You got some stripped back, lo-fi moments, some nice round. Like, it's got a bit of everything here, and it's just sort of. I know it's a collection of songs from a period of time or whatever. I'm not sure, but it doesn't. Like, this one, out of all the albums we've done today, this is not that long, but it felt long. Did you get that as well? Like, it felt like it dragged. And like, the performances are good enough, the production's good enough, it does the things here. There's some interesting covers. Like, you got Blue Oyster Cult, the Beatles, Simon Stokes and Roky Erickson as the covers on this one.
I think one of the issues is that it's really busy.
Yeah, that's
as well. And there's a lot going on without it actually achieving much. But there's a lot of random changes going on, and I don't think it just did not work.
Yeah, well, on that note, the spoken monologue at the end of the Disease with No Control, like that spoken monologue, like a minute plus, is just what? I didn't know what to make of that. I didn't know if there was a joke I missed or some of it. It just, the one that Radiohead did with on OK Computer, the Fitter, Happier, More Productive, that one made more sense than what this one does. And I felt like they kind of had the same thing they were trying to achieve. But Radiohead did it a lot better on their attempt at it. I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, I found myself enjoying the collaborative tracks and the covers more than the originals. And for me, it just, if you're a diehard fan, you'll get something out of this. I'm pretty sure you will. But I don't think I'll go back to it. It's not my real wheelhouse. There's nothing here that grabs me and goes, okay, this is. I go through the notes now. I'm struggling to, go to which ones are the ones that sort of really stayed with me, kind of thing, and it's the ones that were collaborative efforts. So for me, it's Up and Down Under, which was with the Black Armada, and Without a Sound, which was with the Full Tone Generator. So when he's got other people around him, he feels like a really good complementary person to put into a band, but making him the focus doesn't seem to be a strength. And that's also, in a way, reflected in the Spotify listens because, Caius, Queens of the Stone Age, all that stuff are fucking way up there. Even Full Tone Generator and that sort of stuff would be up there too. But for him, as a Spotify profile, he has like 1,000 listeners a month. So I think that I'm not alone in feeling this way, but I don't know. I was being generous because I don't quite get it. So I'm wondering if, that's why I scored it much higher than you did. But at the same time, I didn't want to be too harsh on it because I'm not a connoisseur of the genre, so to speak. So I was like, okay, it did something, but, will it stay with me? I don't really know about that. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. But that said, there's probably not a lot here that's going to stay with me for long at all. It'll be a forgotten release by the end of the year for sure. So Up and Down Under, Without a Sound, my standouts on it. But that was the score I gave it there. So my apologies, but it just didn't grab me. It was just sort of like, okay, it was a thing, but it was a struggle to get through, especially because I listened to things like 3 or 4 times before I write down my notes. I didn't want to listen to it, if that makes sense. It was okay, but it was like, when I've got in the same week Ugly Kings and Dream Troll, it's like, this was ending on a low note.
But the way I kind of look at it is like, you never listen to anything in a vacuum. Even if you're only listening to one style of music, it's still in a vacuum. And it's like, am I going to grab this or am I going to grab Caius?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or am I going to grab Fu Manchu or Truck Fighters or whoever? Yeah. You're not going to reach for this.
No, Queens of the Stone Age, even though I'm not a huge fan, I'll go to those albums before this in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's one for the diehard fans to check out. But if you're not a diehard fan, this won't do anything to make you go, oh, I've got to check this out. That's my thought on that one there for what it's worth. So there we go. But I thought I was the bad guy. Turns out I'm not. So that's all right. So that's cool.
That's all right then.
All good. Kirby jumped in before to say, by the way, it was also in the room at Hole 11 on Friday. The Damn Orange were great. So there we go.
Oh, cheers.
So, Awesome. Cool. Hopefully you'll see them at Cherry Bar next week, isn't it? Next week or the week after? Next week, isn't it? No, next week.
Yeah, this weekend coming up.
Yeah, cool. And Helen's jumped in to say local Melbourne tough cuff record for working extensively with Nick Oliveri and have limited releases when he was in Melbourne. Okay, cool. So if you're a fan, check that out for sure. Whatever happened to Bobby Sherman? Okay, I don't know. Does anyone know at the end of the day? Look, yeah, this has been fun, though. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we start to do the preamble and close it all up and all the usual things we get onto, Tim?
Nah, pretty good tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. All right. We'll do a bit in a second. And Kirby's also will be at Cherry on the 23rd. Awesome. Great. I love hearing that sort of stuff. So thank you for jumping in on YouTube tonight, Kirby. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can see some more ones coming up. But anyway, we'll start doing the wrap-up before we get to the bin. As always, our details are in the description, so please like, follow, subscribe, all the usual stuff that everyone gets you to do. A big thank you to our fantastic sponsors in Squid Ink, Screen Printing, Old Colton, Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description of this or the post, wherever you're watching or tuning into this one, whether it's live now, later on the audio, whatever. The details are all there, so please find us, follow us, and do the same thing to our fantastic sponsors. They are great supporters of us here. And if you'd like to help us directly, check out our Patreon page as well. Our next streams coming up will be Tuesday night. We're doing a chat with Carly Jewell, which has been one we've been waiting for a while. So I'm very keen to get into that one Tuesday night with myself and Nikki there. Thursday, the Deep Cuts episode. Tim, are you ready for this? We're going to be covering a classic from the Choir Boys alongside this year's releases from Cannibal Corpse and Burning Witches. Tim's pumped. To Choir.
So if you get a chance, check it out. It's a sneaky album cover of the year, that one.
Yeah, very, very cool. But yeah, it's a quieter week this week, so we're going back a bit in time this week. When it's a bit quieter, we'll go and dig some ones up that we missed early this year and try and get to them. So we're going to do those ones as well because you wanted Cannibal Corpse, Dave wanted Burning Witches, so we'll go with those ones this week. On Sunday coming up next weekend, I do know we're going to cover or we're going to review the Triple Kill Orpheus Omega Career Suicide EP that is available for us to listen to, so I'm going to make us sit down and go through that one as well. So it's a lot of fun. We'll have a couple of other ones with that one as well. But that's what's coming up. So yeah, and on TV, check us out Thursday nights, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 44 in Adelaide and 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights on Channel 31 in Melbourne. We have our usual antics. This month we are doing all of the bits and pieces for what we thought was going to be our final TV episodes as a clip show. There's all of us that are here, the regulars, as well as Tim C., or T1000, we started calling him of late. He's jumped in on that one. We had Shane from the old days. Jimmy was in there as well and some other people. Very, very cool little group of people got together to play some clips and tell some stories and have some fun. So check that out. That's all through the month. And then our next special episode is all to do with Metal Church, which I know T1000 is very, very happy to hear our thoughts on that one. So I want to get him involved in that one if we can. But that's where we start to wrap things up. Before I do, Helen's gone cool. Carly was a support to Tim's band. Very cool girl. Yes, she was.
She was.
She is a great.
She's a very good. She's very good. She's a very good singer. A great songwriter too.
Yep. Lovely person to boot as well.
Yep.
Yeah, not a bad word to say about Carly at all. What do we got here? Got any whistlers and bat on twirl? Just saying. Haven't got that one. Tim's going Metal Church, although Tim will twirl the sticks.
I can't balance it all, but I can do this. Hold up.
There we go.
That's
as close as we're going to get, mate. I can't even do that. So that's as close as we get here at the show. And Dave Clement on Twitter played a new Burning Witches today on air. Okay, cool. Good. Nice segue there as well. All right. Preamble's done. We're getting to the end. Time for our favourite part of each episode where we go to our trusty old companion, the bin. So, Tim, what's in the bin for you this Sunday night?
Spotify changing their layout. This thing's a big fucking pain in the ass. So, back in the day of last week, you go to see discography, and they would have the albums at the top, the singles at the bottom, and now everything is just fucking mashed together, right? Which doesn't sound like a bad thing, but when you click on like fucking Motorhead and there's 4 million singles there before you get to an album released in 2007, like you just want to smack someone.
Yes.
Like, this is a giant. Whoever thought this was a good idea needs to be shot. And I
just make it sound
Yeah, just don't. This is in no way an easier option for anyone.
No,
so whoever made that decision, straight in the bin.
I agree, and also the function they've got where you may like it, I don't though. Where because I have certain playlists that I put in. It used to be that the playlists I've created for myself to listen to because of what we do here, they'd be at the top of my list. But now it goes on what you've been listening to of late. So I get fucking podcasts and random shit fucking in there. It's like fuck off. I just want to go to the thing I want to hit. Make it just so I know what I want to find is. That's it. Just make it simple.
Yeah, they've pushed everything together, and it just does not work.
No, so please go back.
They've gone, and the thing is, right, from a functionality standpoint, Spotify was by far one of the greatest apps ever.
Yes. Yep.
They did not need to tinker with this.
Yes. No, I think the social integration is good. Just leave it as it is, please. Just don't. You don't need to fuck with it. It's working. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'm with you on that one. They've irked me a bit of late too. I'm not going to jump off because I still think it's better than Apple Music, but at the same time, it's just sort of like fuck. A little bit more painful than it needed to be. Don't change what it's. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the old saying here. That's the case when it comes to Spotify. It wasn't broken. I need to tweak it. My bin is petty as fuck, and I don't give a shit. It's going to be one of those ones because we have the Antenna Awards coming up in September now, and so because we put on a few COVID kilos here in this household, but we're cutting our calories and doing the right things to try and make ourselves, a little bit more presentable for that occasion. And today is cheat day, so I'll go out to get some drive-through and have some fun with, the days that you have to, do with that sort of stuff. And the pricks in the drive-through that order one fucking thing, probably just like a hash brown, and have to use their fucking 10 vouchers to get it for fucking nothing. Fuck right off, okay? When someone is sitting there going fucking, they've got hold up fucking all these coupons on the digital fucking app on their phone, one after the other, and then they get the tiniest little bag, which means there was fuck all in there. All of that effort for that one fucking thing. Just piss off. You're not even worth the time. I used to work in food. I know you do work in food, Tim. That used to shit me to tears. Then it shits me to tears more now as the consumer behind you, you fuckwit. Piss off. Just get it and go. It's not that hard. Get the fuck out of the way. Anyway.
It's like, it was a few weeks ago they did McDonald's did $1 Big Macs off the app. And you just heard stories of there's a line 500 meters from the drive-through to get this fucking $1 Big Mac, and it's like, is it really worth it, guys? Come on, really?
Yeah, I know. Oh fuck! It blew my mind a long time ago when I used to work in food. I'm talking 20 years ago, when I was managing and shit like that. But that was like, okay, I get it to a point, but compared to today, it just makes no sense. Like the amount of time you spend in the car to get this fucking shit sorted out, your time is worth more. Fuck off. It makes no sense. I don't get it. I'm glad I don't work in food where it is today with the apps and the codes and shit. Fuck that for a joke. It was crazy enough back then, not now. I'm glad I'm not in that industry anymore. I do feel for you, my friend. I don't know if you're front of house.
Right.
But fuck
That's
me.
all right. It's all right.
I'll stick to manufacturing where I'm not the one talking to the customers per se. I'll do that and let the boss handle the calls. I'll just make shit. That's fine by me. Okay, cool. We've got some audience bins coming in, which is cool. Very, very nice. Okay, so Nikki's gone, yes. We're reviewing Triple Kill and Orpheus Omega, so that's happening next weekend, Nikki. So if you want to join us on Sunday, please do. And Tuff has jumped in to say, good friend Tuff on YouTube. Thanks for jumping in. Bin the Man cartoon for being a woke rubbish. Oh, the He-Man cartoon.
The He-Man.
I like He-Man.
I've never heard He-Man described as woke.
I think because I don't know what's going on now, but back in the day, I used to have the messages for the people watching it. So don't do this, don't do drugs, all that kind of stuff. They used He-Man to deliver those messages way back in the day.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan also told me I could look like that if I said prayers and eat vitamins.
Yeah. Let's not get onto Captain Roger Ramjet, and his proton pills. But anyway, I don't know if you know that one, Tim, but yeah, that thing way back.
Hulk Hogan is injectable vitamins.
Yes, that was a thing for a while there. Here we go. Helen's gone, pricks of the first order. Give me a mood ring, and I'm wearing it 24/7. Yep, that's cool. And I think this is all going back to whatever is going on there. Tough also said, thanks for last week's episode. Got some great links. Awesome. Good to hear that. And coming on to your Spotify rant there, Tim, bring back LimeWire. Out of all the platforms, LimeWire is not the one I want to see come back. eDonkey was better than LimeWire by a long, long way for me personally, going back.
Pirate Bay was pretty good back in the day.
It was. It's a bit harder now, but it was. If you can still get to it, it's not bad now. Still, it works. It does the job. Ben's gone, what speakers do you fellas listen from? As a random question from the audience there. So how do you generally listen to the music we talk about here, Tim?
Either in the car or I've got these AKG studio headphones.
For me personally, it's my pre-listening before I sit down and write my notes is done just through earpods, just getting a casual feel for it. Then I'll sit down and deep dive either with my studio mixing speakers. I'm not sure what it all is. I've just got it set up. You've seen my setup, Tim, so it's all there. But I've also got really good studio headphones as well. So, yeah, because I did audio production, I tend to pay attention to what sounds good. I don't care about the brand per se. Just I find good mixes through good speakers sound fantastic, or good headphones. Either way sounds great, so I tend to go with that. Whatever works for you.
But I mean, like, I've done reviews as well, like listening to off Spotify through the TV, through the Xbox as well. So, I mean...
And I don't expect everyone to be as pedantic as I am with it, because it is a case of you listen to it however you can. That's the thing too. I think that it's important that people listen to music in different ways. So because I listen to it a certain way doesn't mean it's the right way. It's just however you enjoy your music is the best. So long as you've got, I think the caveat I would stick to that is so long as you've got some reference albums that you know how they sound, and then you can compare that to these other ones, then yeah, cool. But that's only if you're a production head, and that's me. So yeah,
exactly. Most people listen to music off their phone.
Yeah, exactly. So no need to get too fussy on that front. But no, I do have a good setup, which I enjoy thoroughly personally, but that's me being more of a freak on that kind of shit, which we all know about by now. Nudes jumped in saying, having your 7-year-old vomit all over her bedding, self and floor at 10:30 at night after overeating at a friend's birthday party. Yeah, that sucks, mate. I do feel for you in that regard. Kids that age and self-control.
She'll never do it again, though.
Sorry?
She'll never do it again, though.
No, that'll be a one that sits there and will be in the memory bank for quite some time. That one. Sally jumped in on. Sorry, go on.
I do remember though, being a kid. When you're a kid, kids' party food is awesome.
It is, and that's where getting food that you don't get a lot of, you're going to cram as much of that shit in as you can.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get it next time. So there we go. Sally jumped in on YouTube to say hello, metal peoples, and she said sorry it's late, but that's. You can always watch the repeat later on. When I think this is related to my my drive-through rant, and this is people like that need to get an RKO out of nowhere. Comment there, tough. So cheers for that. Helen's gone maintain the rage. Yep, we're pretty much going to do that anyway. Okay, I think this is back to He-Man. He-Man take the backseat to his own show. Tila becomes the hero. Major B to the S. Okay, I don't know. I haven't seen the newest one. There's a new one coming from Netflix, so I don't know if that's related to that or whatever. But okay, cool. Helen's gone, I'm bloody blessed with 80s Bose 901. Very, very nice. That's cool. And Nikki's gone, I can't listen to music from a phone. That hurts my soul. We should get Brendan in here to fucking justify himself of late, because he's become the complete vinyl nerd and he's turning slowly into an audiophile as well.
You know what, right? So, because we've got the new Orange album, I would have loved to have listened to it on vinyl. I did at Brendan's house, ironically. But I was facing this dilemma of, like, do I buy a turntable just to listen to this one album? Because the problem is that I've got to justify having the turntable, which means buying a bunch of vinyl. Yeah. And thus the cycle starts.
Yes, that's how it works. Now, for people like myself,
that's how it starts. And I'm just like, you know what? I've heard it once. I don't need to hear it again.
Yeah, well, you played on the fucking thing, so there you go. You should know it pretty well.
Exactly.
Now, myself, Jody, people like Nikki, Brendan, we all there are a lot of us that grew up with vinyl, and that was one of those things where, never quite that nostalgia never went away. I'm glad it's kicking around, but I completely understand where you're coming from, Tim. It's hard to justify if you're not into it as a general thing. It's
but
it's
even
pretty.
myself, like I grew up listening to my mum's vinyls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you've done it before.
Like,
You said that.
I know how to use all that stuff. I really listen to cassettes and flicking through her CD collection. I mean, that's how I found. Like that's how I started listening to hard rock. I
Yeah.
was listening to Mum's Meatloaf albums. and Skyhooks and Kiss and things like that. So yeah.
There we go. Oh, well, Nikki's jumped in to save you. She's gone, come to mine, Tim. I'm local. I love my turntable. So you can have the album and then go to Nikki's and play it there. So there you go. If you want to hear vinyl, go to Nikki's.
I'll take you up on that one day. It's funny because I do have a couple of vinyls and I've got them signed. No, I've never actually listened to them.
Okay, that'd be interesting. You two can do that and send me a video of you doing it.
Yeah, I've got the first few Mayhem albums signed by them. And they're all like special release colored vinyls and all that. And yeah, never actually listened to them, just got them signed.
Okay, cool. And Tim, here's a little nod for your mum here. Yay, mum, Tim, good taste. So there you go. You can show your mum that little bit there from the stream here for us as well. Tough jumped in before to say, I used to get my Walkman connected to my record player speakers. That's how far back I go. Yeah, I used to walk around my Walkman all the fucking time. Those things, in terms of today's convenience, those things were a fucking pain in the ass. The batteries would last you a couple of sides of your tape, and then it was fucking
I contend that the Walkman was better than the Discman.
Oh, it was better than the Discman by a long way. At least you didn't get the skips to worry about. That was in the fucking ass. And the laser burned through the batteries faster than the Walkman did. So the Discman was really the most convenient listening device of all time, I would say. And so yeah, Helen's gone. She can hear everything on her 901, so that's awesome. It's good to see that I'm not the only one that really pays attention to that kind of stuff. But however you listen to music is how you listen to music. Oh, fuck, here we go. Reel to reel. Yeah, done that too. I've cut reel to reel tape, so there you go, in my production fun and games. Editing tape is a fucking nightmare. I'm so glad that's less of a thing than it was because that was fucked. That's a talent in and of itself doing that one. But yes, anyway, I think we're here we go. What's going on, Tim? Nikki, I died a little when Tim named his mum's vinyls besides Meatloaf. Love me some Kiss and Skyhooks. There we go. Hey, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been Tim's introduction to Meatloaf was the grand final performance. I'm glad that wasn't the case.
That's true.
Tough also. Go on.
No, go on.
I was saying Tough also caused a lot of injuries back in the day listening to White Zombie full-blown walking into a door, with your Walkman. That'd be a thing too. Oh, here we go. Dave has gone. Don't forget 8 tracks. Yeah, I don't think a lot of us were big on the 8 tracks. Some of us remember them for sure, but we weren't big on the 8 tracks. They were a fucking nightmare. But anyway, I think that's it for now. So is there anything else you wanted to say before we jump off there, Tim, or are you good?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. It's been great to have everyone here with us tonight. Okay, I'm going to squeeze in one more comment. Okay, Sally jumped in to say, I have a wicked sound system in my car. I want loud, raw, and bloody in the car. Yes, I do agree with having a good sound system in the car. It is a really cool thing because a lot of music and stuff is listened to in your car, so that's not a bad thing at all. And Guy, remember to rewind your tapes, lol. That was the worst thing. VHS fucking rentals. That was the worst. Had to rewind the tape, otherwise you had to pay extra. Fuck. Anyway, we're taking a trip down memory lane with a lot of stuff we don't really worry about anymore. But those were the days where things were less convenient, but I guess a little more simple as well. But anyway, that's it for now. Speaking of simple, it's time for us to get out of here and knock off for a night. Thank you all for joining us. It's been great having so many interaction across different platforms tonight. Really do appreciate your time tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and got something out of the music we've talked about tonight. Thank you to you, Tim, as well, for jumping in for another episode.
Anytime.
And also to Nikki and Jody before as well. Big for jumping in to do the gig guide and have some fun with us as well. But I think that'll do for now. Thank you all so very, very much. We will see you all again very, very soon. Next stream on Tuesday, then following Thursday and so on with the Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday routine that we've got established now, as well as TV on Thursday and Saturday. So we're pretty much almost every night of the week. So check us out. But we'll see you again next time. Until then, I'm Andrew.
And Tim.
As always,
drink up.
Rock on.
And Andrew's frozen. Rock on.
No, I'm still
freeze
hey,
on.
If that's frozen in post-production, I'm going to get a really cool clip out of it. I'm going to find a nice still. So that'll that'll be interesting. But yeah, am I back? I hope I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off from the individual platforms and see how that turned out in post-production. So that'll be interesting as well. But we're going to say goodbye to Instagram first, assuming it went there. We'll say goodbye for now. Next up is Twitter. So Dave, in particular, thanks for joining in. We'll see you all on Twitter very, very soon. Next up is YouTube. So Sally and others in there as well. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Good to get some new faces there. Thank you. We'll see you all.